Welcome back to another day working on, the exact same thing. We've done this 3 times now. This will be the 3rd time, but changing another caliper. So today we're going to give you a full in-depth explanation on how to actually do it. After we get our improvised flat ground to work so that we can jack the car up. And we will be using jack stands today because we are at my house. So, step 1, take your 7mm hex head, undo the pins. You gotta look at it right there. One there and one there. Step 2, break your brake line. As you can see, the pins are out. That top one's out, bottom one's loosened, but it has to stay in so that we can break the brake hose bolt.
I don't know what size it is. I think it was like a 14, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Let me see. $13. $13mm bolt on your brake line.
Alright, so for this next step on these rear calipers, there's a little pin clip thing right here, an assembly like this. Pretty simple to get it out. You're just going to take, let me switch hands. You're going to take a flathead, pry it in there, pop the clips. I think it's harder with one hand.
And there you go. Now this thing you're going to want to hold on to because most of them don't come with new ones. Did ours?
Duralast ones do.
Duralast does come with one, okay. And they are a pain in the ass to put back on.
Yeah.
And back to the other side. Next up, now that you've broken your brake line,
yep,
you gotta finish unthreading the bottom or top bolts, whichever one you left in, and then get the caliper off.
Pads.
Alright, can you film this part? Or do you want to explain it while I do it?
Oh, the e-brake?
Yep.
The pliers are right back there. So, how to explain this here? The e-brake on this car obviously is tied into the rear caliper, and there's going to be this wire right here, and you're going to have to pull on it with a pair of pliers, pull it out and over to remove it. That's how you disconnect your e-brake.
Oh, don't forget, to get it out and through this line, you just have to pop this little boot, and it unseals it. I don't know that that's any problem or anything, but
Yeah, let me give it a shot. Got it.
that's one way to do it. I'm not sure that's what we did last time, but it works. So.
Really, you just have to pull up and out.
This one just seemed to be kind of seized up. Same with this boot also seems to be really stuck.
Yeah, I have a $20 credit at AutoZone. What should I buy from there?
One of their cheap cold air intakes.
No.
So all you have to do to get your parking brake off is kind of jiggle this around back and forth and pull, and it will come right through, and you're all set to move on to start adding everything back together. Take the bracket bolts out because you're just changing the caliper, but if you are changing brakes, you need to do your 2 bracket bolts, which are back here. I can show in a second, and then continue with it like a normal brake job.
And this caliper box also came with a new bracket, so it's here. We're gonna throw it on.
It's okay.
Rest in peace, tripod.
Alright, I'll take over. So, your first bracket bolt, as we said at the 13, is right up here. I'm thinking the angle and the shadow isn't very good, but it's right here, as well as down in this inspection hole. My fingers blocked it, but you can see it there. And once you take those off, it just slides off and you can continue everything and start reassembly in the reverse order. So, we're gonna do that. Now, to add your brake line and get everything back the way it was, you're essentially going to put this through here with one of your little copper gaskets on the outside of it and one on the inside of it. I don't know if you can see it over there, but you know what? We're doing it. We're not doing it that way. We're gonna do it when we put it on. You can explain it. I'm just putting bolts in.
Alright, so we're trying to take the pins out of the caliper, but they're tight. So all we're doing is threading the bracket back on to, give us a stable, bolted on platform to take the pins out and continue with assembly. So on said brake pads, right, you're gonna have a fancy looking one that's, got some weird metal
wiring
on it. That one's gonna go.
It has to go on the inside of the rotor,
or your caliper will not go back on. And then the blank one
goes outside.
Seats right there.
And you can clamshell it like we did, or you can take it all the way off. It depends what you're doing.
Fold it back on, thread your pins in. At this point, you can tighten your pins, and then we'll continue.
As we mentioned earlier, basically the rest of this is just backwards, reverse engineering. So we're gonna wiggle this in now, and then it's a lot easier because all you have to do is get some pressure and push it. But I can't do that one-handed, so we're gonna take another little cut. And did you grab the gasket? To put your brake line back on, you want to take your bolt with one of the copper gaskets through here, and then you want to put your other copper gasket on this side, and then you're going to tighten it down. And as we said earlier, it's a 13, so since the... Wait, you can't do that yet.
There's no easy way to do it.
You have to show... Now this is the part we were talking about that is a major pain, because this clip is really tight, because what it actually does is stops the caliper from wiggling left and right. And as you can see, you can get the first side in really easily, which just makes the bottom insanely hard. Ethan, you want to switch? 'Cause I got it last time.
Got this.
No. Okay, take your flathead, put that, line it up there, I hold it, and then you take your flathead and you pry this side out. Take the camera.
I quit.
This is an easy way to do this. Alright, so as I said, it's a major pain in the ass. The best way to do it is you want to put one side in, and you're going to kind of like guide both of these at the same time. Now it helps to have a friend, but my friend is in charge of the camera, so it's gonna be a little tough. Or if this happens, you might be able to pry this over, but that's gonna be harder. So I'm thinking we're gonna have to have Ethan let go. So we did get it, and as you can see, it's not in all the way. Don't worry. This is where you carefully hold the back sides and whatnot, and then lightly tap it with a hammer into the hole. You may need to use the flathead to kind of push it and guide it the right direction, but you're basically just hitting it until it goes in. And they're in, and now the caliper does not wobble. And we're gonna go wash up so we don't get the inside of the car dirty, and then on to bleeding the brakes so that everything can be done and we can take it for a test drive. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know about bleeding brakes, they're all about the same size, pretty universal for the bleeder hose screw. This is a 7/16 wrench. It's not even on camera, I'm sorry. And then your bleeder screw is this silver one right here. Usually they're a lot dirtier, but since this is a brand new caliper. And if you don't know how to bleed brakes, then I mean, I guess here's your tutorial. Because what you do is you get a buddy and you crack it open. I'm not going to crack it open because he's not quite ready yet. I just don't want him to startle him. That's wrong. No, it's not open yet. Alright, is it up? Okay, so you crack it. Jesus Christ. That's the wrong way this way. Why is this not working? I'm loosening it. Oh. Open. Open.
Yeah.
So then your partner pushes down on the brake pedal, and normally it would get some fluid, but most likely because this is new and no fluid is circulated, that's why we don't have anything with this first one. So while they hold the pedal down, you go back up so you don't suck any air back into the system, and you can lift the pedal.
You closed?
Yep.
Open or up?
I'm gonna give it 2 turns just to be safe. Open. There we go.
Down.
Now Ethan's down, so I will close it again. And it is closed.
Up.
And he's got the pedal up, so I'm opening again. And the cycle continues. It's a pretty tedious job. I mean, it's very necessary though, because if you have air bubbles in your system, you're risking your brakes failing when they hit those bubbles, and that could be the cause of an accident or any other horrendous things. Alright, it's test drive time. We're just going to go up around the block because where I live there's a bunch of cul-de-sacs, and just make sure the pedal is firm, make sure the brakes are activating, and that is that. Hope this helped you if you're doing your brake job, and we'll catch you guys later.